This is Revenue Marketing Raw. No fluff, no vendor pitches. Just the truths your CMO won't say out loud. Featuring Jeff Pedowitz and Dr. Debbie Gagish. Let's go!
We are live. And
okay, fantastic. Did you have a great 4th, Jeff?
We did have a great 4th. We went up and saw Zach up in Portland, Maine.
Very nice.
He had a day off from camp, and we helped him get his stuff for his move to Japan.
That's crazy. That's absolutely wonderful. And we had a fabulous fireworks show. We have a neighbor 2 doors down. We live on the water. He did a professional fireworks show off the end of his dock. It was amazing. I've never been that close to fireworks before in my life. So it was really nice.
Yeah, and it's fun. Well, then we got back, and we hadn't gone out to see fireworks show in years. And so it being our 250th birthday, Sheree's like, let's go into town. So we parked the truck up on the top of this parking deck, and we have this great view of the park.
What a great idea!
They had a little picnic with the chairs and stuff, and it was a lot.
That is now, but were the chairs in the back of the truck, or because that's the real Southern way? Yeah, you were sitting in the back of the truck. Okay,
sitting in the back of the truck, good old Georgia style.
Got that Southern thing. Perfect, Jeff. I'm so proud of you. We're gonna beat that jersey out of you yet.
Absolutely. I think it went a long time ago. But you know who else is seeing fireworks? All these marketers, because all their precious forms are going away.
Oh yeah. And when you talk about that lead form, it is like the bane of every marketer's existence. And AI, again, we always talk about AI, but like how can you not? Because it impacts everything. And AI is really changing what the lead form is, funnel stages, everything. So what's going on there, Jeff?
Well, it's been happening anyway. First with what we've talked about with AEO and large language models, where people don't have to come to the site at all anymore. They can get their information right there within the large language model. So that in and of itself sort of makes the format out of vogue. Second, if you got your content behind a form that you've been gating all these years, AI doesn't like that, and it can't find your shit.
Yes.
So you're getting penalized for having too many gated forms, and now buyers are going elsewhere. But more than that, more interesting, I think, is Google just rolled out Conversations last week.
They rolled out what?
It's called Conversations, within
Conversations,
Gemini.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, it's more native, so you can have a conversation as you're searching, and you can interact with it. So you're sharing information more natively as you're giving to get. So there really isn't this whole concept of a form. I have to go to your site to wait for you to contact me so I can discuss my needs. Doesn't happen anymore, because now you can just search for something within Gemini, brings up something, and then invites you to chat, right? To ask more questions. So so you're really interacting with the search, right? You're interacting with the AI in real time. Like, just take something simple up. Hey, I'm looking for software that helps me with this widget, for my, okay. So here are some recommendations.
So rather than lead form, I like to know more about what you do and how you can help me, right?
Yeah.
Now are engaged in a conversation.
Right there within the browser, which makes more sense because that's where you are, like at this moment.
And people want information right now.
Yeah. It's too much friction to go, but before they didn't have a choice. So before, you would rank on search, you click the link, you go to the you go to the vendor site, right? You start browsing around, and then if you didn't find what you needed, you'd fill out a form. And then marketers are like, great, we got you, let's get you into the funnel. We can start nurturing you, let's qualify you. But now, if I don't get what I initially wanted, I can start asking follow-up questions, much like you would within an LLM, but Google is being Google. It's taking all its rich search history and it's combining it with Gemini and agentic search to have a richer, more nuanced conversation. So, and if you have it in incognito mode, it's tailoring your search history. It's combining it. It knows you, and you're getting much more bespoke recommendations, and that you can kind of go down the path.
So it's further cutting sales out of the conversation.
Oh yeah. That's definitely a byproduct. So, forms will have a place, but not the dominant function or ubiquity.
Well, first of all, no, again, you were talking about friction, and it's so interesting. I remember one time years ago, I don't know where we were. We were at a conference, and we went to see somebody talk. It was the guy that wasn't wearing shoes. You remember him? And He was talking about friction in the engagement process, right?
Wasn't that Flint McLaughlin?
Flint McLaughlin, yes, that was exactly right. And he was talking about, everywhere there's friction, anything that slows down your customer or your prospect from getting what they need. And with AI, the friction is like gone. Clients and prospects want this information when they want it, and they want it how they want it, right? So if marketers no longer have lead forms and they send that over to sales, and sales does the follow-up, what does this mean for marketing and revenue and accountability and all those kinds of things?
Well, it's really interesting because, you bring up a great point, because the form in a lot of ways wasn't even so much about the prospect themselves as it was marketing being able to prove to sales that they did something, and here's my lead, right? So now I can't bring that to you anymore on the silver platter to show you that I did it. And at the same time, it's affecting sales. It's affecting both, because now if someone can not even come to your website to buy because of agentic commerce or some other mechanism, how does sales get the credit for it? So I think it really is creating space, actually, to revisit alignment. In the age of and we've talked about this so much. AI is just accelerating things that buyers have wanted and have been doing for the last 20 years. The reality is, no one really wants to talk to sales unless it's absolutely necessary. And
that's right, they don't.
So if I could go to e-commerce, I can go to an agent, and I can have my agent do all the analysis and tell me what's best. And then I go to my managers and I make the recommendations and I get authorization. And I never have to talk to you until it's time to actually validate or get ready to kick off, or maybe I have a couple questions about a contract. But that is generally how most. So does
the role of the salesperson go away in that model? Because that sounds like kind of what you're describing, and maybe it's just a person that makes sure that everything's right and fills out the paperwork.
I think roles change. I don't think sales goes away entirely. I don't think marketing goes away entirely. But what you and I were talking about last week, strategy, judgment, context, taste. Do I need an entry-level salesperson as a BDR to take an order or to qualify someone before I hand it over to? No. Okay.
And just let's go to that point. You hire these BDRs; they don't know shit. Come on, they're new. They're all new.
Yeah, they're burning and turning, and
they're burning and churning, and they're probably not even the best person for somebody to be talking to at that stage of their buying process, right? So now you have the best information available to a prospect. You don't have to say, is this BDR not trained as well? Do they not have enough information? Because you can really give the client or the prospect the right kind of information on that. So, some may say that the role, in this case, the role of the BDR, you just don't need it. It just completely goes away. And then it becomes incumbent upon the more senior salespeople, to your point, who have judgment, who have authority, who have credibility, who have knowledge, right? To make sure that the deal is being packaged correctly, and then to move those into the human conversation part of the buyer journey.
Yeah, or instead of thinking about sales in a conventional way, I have to drive the process, quarterback it, drive the demo, qualify, get all the contracts. Maybe it's more domain specific. So I go out and I hire industry experts from my field, or I go to my current or former clients and I pull some people that really know, and then they'll make those people available for advisory and advancing the relationship, because I think because they have that real life experience, they're more respected. And that's the strategy.
Exactly.
And it's not so much about, okay, Deb, sign the order, here's my forecast.
Exactly.
I can answer this question in a way that a junior salesperson or even AI couldn't, because AI didn't live through it. AI can't feel the pain. It doesn't have that shared battle history, right? Mm-hmm. But if you and I are both in finance and banking, and I come from a mid-tier credit union and you're the retail bank, like there's an instant rapport there, right? We could talk about things in a way that other people can't.
Exactly. And again, that's where the people element in the age of AI becomes more important than ever before. But it's not your bottom line BDR type of person that's seated here. It's like in marketing, that execution layer is going away, the BDR layer is going away as well, right? So it really is that more senior person who, again, has the expertise, can understand the pain, can connect with the customer, can really, bring that home. And imagine two companies that compete with one another. And one has that traditional fill out the form and somebody will be calling you maybe, versus the other company who has this wonderfully rich dialogue that not only shares the information that a prospect needs, but shares it in a way that is most relevant to them, and then sets it up for a more experienced person to come in. I mean, that is really a tale of two companies, and just one small way that AI is, again, not just a technology, it's a new way to do business for us. And we started a conversation around lead forms and what that means. But what does it mean when you take a look at the funnel, or when you take a look at the loop, Jeff, right? What does this change mean for how marketers look at their marketing funnel, and what a funnel actually means?
Well, I mean, even before AI came along, I mean, we introduced the loop back in 2015, something like that, mm-hmm. Which was really moving more towards treating our customers as a relationship, as it's supposed to be, versus a number, passing through gravity. So I think in a lot of ways, these changes help facilitate that process if you're committed to building that relationship. I mean, if you're still doing things the way that you've always been doing them, you're just going to be more of a fish out of water than ever before. But I mean, if you're truly investing in building that relationship, then I think the loop actually helps you.
I think it does too. I really do, because it is more people centric. So here's a question for you. What happens to the highly valued MQL?
Oh, we should blow that shit up. I mean, even before AI come along, we've been railing against that for the last 3 years.
Yet it is still a main metric for most B2B marketing organizations.
It is. And look, and I've admitted, like we drove it, we pushed it, we set mm-hmm. standards for it. But like all things, Deb, I mean, it was right until it's not. And for lack of something better, it did work, for a decade or so. But as B2B buying committees advance, I mean, you're selling to multiple people, maybe an MQA is more appropriate now, versus an MQL, because
marketing qualified
account.
Again,
because I am selling at least to a collection of people, versus an individual person. But I mean, MQL is, it has no place in a modern. So let's play this out. Let's say you've got a company and they're doing all this great stuff, and the salesperson is not involved with that prospect until a lot of information has been shared, a lot of agentic conversation has happened. I would think that would bring marketing and sales closer together, number one. And number two, the ability for AI to constantly tweak that dialogue based on what they're seeing in the market
what kind of business gets closed, how fast things close, profit per deal, all of those things. Those two things are going to be happening pretty much together.
It could and it should, but Deb, I mean, we still got to go back to something you and I've talked about for 20 years. Like, while AI has the potential to do these things, AI is still tech. And tech is not a strategy, and tech is not your process, and tech is not how you manage your team. So if you're not willing to reorient how sales and marketing is going to work together, you're not going to invest in shares goals, you're not going to change your processes, you're not going to align your business around the customer. Like, AI doesn't do shit. It's just another piece of technology that's going to get wasted with its potential.
And again, and that's why newer companies who have a lot less legacy that they have to tear down in order to come to market are going to be using AI in a way that's going to give them a competitive advantage. And we always say that tech gives you a competitive advantage, but this is life-altering kind of competitive advantage.
There's never been a time where it's easier for a startup or small business to equal the playing field and jump ahead, because they don't have all that baggage. They can pivot, they can be agile. It is not impossible, but challenging and very difficult the larger the company is.
Yeah.
For them to pivot, they have change control procedures and security, and with good reason, but
and egos and executives and
multiple layers,
and fiefdoms and all those things.
Price, all these competing pressures that they have.
Wall Street.
Yep. Yes. Yeah.
Because even if you know you have to make those changes, your shareholders still want your number to hit, for the quarter.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of dimensions of this. I mean, we talked about sales. What about, your media budget? So you spend a lot of digital media to drive to a conversion. Well, if there's no form, there's no call to action. Right. So I'm not going to get you to sign up for a demo or download a white paper or an ebook. What am I spending my media on? And I can't, no matter how much I spend on media, I can't influence that large language model, because that's not how they work. They're working on citational trust. They're not working on how much money you spend to buy an ad. Right.
But I will say that as you are having that agentic conversation, at some point you can be getting the information from the client, and you may have a salesperson reach out. Right. So, I mean, that can still happen.
Yeah. I mean, we're not saying that you won't have sales at all, just like you won't have marketing at all. It's changing. And maybe you don't need as many people doing some of these things, because first of all, the people don't need them. So there's, and then second, AI will help you execute. But if more time and you're spending more of your personnel on strategy, on judgment, on alignment, and engaging the customer, then even without forms, you have to think about, how do I start engaging with you if you'll never come to my site ever? If you'll never fill out a form again? How do I reach you wherever you
like you didn't call me anymore, and then you went to the website, and now from the website you're going with social media, and now they're going someplace completely. There's no reason to engage with you, right? There's no reason.
So how do I get to you? And with trust, with credibility, with authority, in a way that you're going to be receptive.
Yeah. For all of our listeners, Jeff and I literally come up with the topic, like, I swear to God, 10 minutes before we get on the show. What's popping? What did we see this week? What have we heard this week? And one of the topics that I wanted to talk about was this constant change, and how marketers are so buried in the day-to-day tactics. They have no breathing room to really take all this in and begin to make these substantive changes. And it's almost like we have to do complete business redesign. So maybe we'll make that a topic for a later date. But marketers are just so damn busy. All of the things that we talk about, the should, the could, the inspiration, what's real, what's now, these impossibly large changes, people are just buried and have so little time to give this any attention.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. I mean, while we have talked about marketing being one of the strongest early adopters of AI, and they are, but they're also have not changed behavior. They're running the hamster wheel faster. Oh, well, we can produce more content now. We can
That's right.
produce more campaigns to generate
right.
more leads.
That's
so
right.
fundamentally, they've used AI as a way of reinforcing bad behavior.
That's
And
right.
so they're still just as reactive as they've ever been, but they're
That's
under
right.
even more pressure now. So
That's right.
they until they really have the courage to break free and think differently, act differently.
To break free. I love that expression. I love that expression. You're right. Until they have time to break free.
We got to help them jailbreak this shit, you know?
Who was the fitness guru, the Stop the Madness? She had this short white hair. And, it's just, the definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And, that's the more we talk about this, the more it stays the same. But I will say this, the really savvy marketers, the more strategic marketers, and those organizations that fully realize the potential impact of AI will be the absolute winners. And the face of business is forever changing in the biggest way I think we've ever seen. I said since before the extinction of the dinosaurs, but maybe it's since we introduced the automobile. I don't know. It's one of those two things.
So break free, be bold, drop those forms.
That's right.
And dare to be different, right? Dare
to be different. That's right.
Yes. All right, so that's the parting wisdom for this week, and we'll be back again next week when we will be talking a little bit more about change.
All right, see you guys later. Bye-bye. Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Deb.